talking about circle prospecting and circle dialing to improve engagement with your sphere. And Cindy Haven is our guest today. She is here from Golden Bay Mortgage, and this is a service that is provided only by Golden Bay Mortgage. So you're going to want to need to connect with her, and I have sent out her information. I'll send it again with a recording of this. But there are several ways that this can be used. And so I wanted to let Cindy kind of explain the program, and then we're going to do a quick run through with my CSV file for my farm. So Cindy, you're on.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for taking the time to let me be a part of your meeting and engage with you today. And the goal is to help you grow your business going forward. Krista and I did tape part of this last week. And one of the tools that, so my name's Cindy Haven. I'm a loan officer and a finance consultant with Golden Bay Mortgage Group. We're a brokerage. And we pretty much cover all of the state of California, some other outlining states as well. And so we've developed tools to support our realtor partners. And the one we're going to talk about today is called circle dialing. So we have an inside salesperson that is very well trained and scripted to make the calls on your behalf. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Have each of you met with like your local rep with the title company? Have you had meetings with the title company officers or pulled a farm through title?
Yes.
Okay. When you've pulled those title farms, did you pull mailing addresses or did you pull phone numbers and emails?
I usually try to get whatever I can, and they usually do not contain emails and phone numbers.
Okay. So typically when you request to get the list that includes the phone numbers and emails, they'll charge you. It's pretty reasonable. It's usually $20 to $30 on average for a list. But the cool thing about that is with the emails, you can set up different types of campaigns, but we're going to talk about the phone list because the phone list is something that can be uploaded in the form of a CVS or Excel file for the circle dialing program that we have. So with the circle dialing, there's a simple form that you're going to complete, and I can do that with you and walk you through it. And you can do like a just listed campaign, just sold, old leads. Do some of you have like a sphere, like a list of leads that you've built up over a period of time? Yeah, Joseph.
Yeah.
So Joseph, how long have you been a realtor?
Oh, about 28 minutes.
28 minutes? No, I know you've been in this. I can tell that you've been in this a bit longer than that because I talked to so many. I get it. Yeah.
I'm trying to get other people to participate.
Yeah, so you probably have
23 going on 24 years. 23,
hey,
24 years.
That's awesome. So you've got, I'll give you an example. I have one guy that left Caldwell Banker in the Bay Area, relocated to Sun City and sent me a list of almost 3,800 leads. And we did multiple campaigns for him. What was the result? And I'm going to get into the details, was he had about 3 listings that came up in his neighborhood. So I thought that was a pretty good return on investment. But because it generated an opportunity for him to get in front of people after he had relocated to live in, the Sun City region. And so when I went out to meet with him, I said, I want to hear about this. Who's these neighbors that are coming into this open house I'm helping you with? Well, one of them was selling that house and buying another house. So he listed and sold that home, and they bought another home, a larger home across the street. You just never know. And then he had a couple more listings. So I thought, just from the revenue standpoint, between those 4 transactions, that took him just under 6 figures, moving from one point to another point. So I thought that was pretty cool. So circle dialing is one tool that will get your name in front of other people. You have the opportunity to do what's called a voice drop. So Kevin, my circle dialer, will reach out to you. You'll schedule a time with him after he receives your form, and he'll schedule the campaign with you. So you might have either brought in the buyer, for example, if you brought in a buyer to a neighborhood, you could do that type of campaign. Maybe you listed that property, you could do that type of campaign. Maybe it just sold. Maybe you have an open house. With open houses, we usually like to get that information at the early part of the week. The better you get that information to us earlier, the better the results, because we invite people to the open house. The other thing too is what tags along with that is we own several domains. So if you have an open house and you have the open house flyer, I get it in the early part of the week. We set up a call campaign. They're calling to invite people to your open house so you have better results. On top of that, we blast those flyers out, which will get that information out to multiple venues throughout the state of California. So that's kind of neat too. It's like having a marketing company behind you to help support your objective for that open house. Or for example, maybe you just listed like one in Folsom I was with last week. And what we did with that one, they held a happy hour on Friday. So we set up a call campaign for that particular open house because they were hosting a happy hour to launch it for the weekend. We did the call campaigns as well as we did the email blasts on the flyers and different things and posted them. So the nice part about that was they had their own systems through their company Real or KW Keller Williams. We have our own systems that we own as a brokerage. We've been doing this for 24 years. So I think we've got a few things, down that might be beneficial for all of you. The other thing too, with the circle dialing, to get back into it, you may have something coming up like Krista. Krista has a farm where she's focusing on a garage sale for October. So those campaigns will be recalled. In other words, it's not going to be a one-time call campaign. He may make that call list weekly just to remind them and to invite them to that particular situation that's going on, which happens to be a garage sale in the neighborhood. So Krista will give him the details like garage sale October 3rd, for example, whatever it may be, in the details from this time to this time. She can do the voice drop. What's kind of cool is you get an email report on any of these campaigns daily. So when Kevin makes the call campaign for you, you're in communication with him via email. So you're going to receive an email with the results. And typically what you see on those reports oftentimes depends on the time of year, like summertime. A lot of people are out of town. So you might see out of 200 to 400 names, several no answers. Then you'll see a couple connects. We do pull the ones off the do not call list because we adhere to those guidelines as a brokerage. So you'll see some of them, maybe they're not good numbers because sometimes the scrubbing of the numbers, when you get those from a title company, they may be a bit dated, things change, people move and whatnot. But the neat thing about it is when you keep it going, like I have the agents keep them going. So I have an agent that works with Realty One, and she retired from the state. And she started on this campaign last month. And she's already received one listing appointment, and she's got a second appointment. That listing appointment, I think that home's like 850,000 in her farm that's just outside of where she lives in Natomas. So I'm giving you some real life examples. We have Kevin on 8 campaigns right now for various people, including my broker owners. So he's very consistent in his communication with you. And what's neat is if you haven't done anything like this before, if you're fairly new to the business, I know Joseph, you've been around a while, but you still would be familiar. He'll walk you through the steps with everything because you're going to be communicating with him. He'll say, hey, do you want to change it up? For example, so you can do one form for each campaign. You have to have a separate form for each campaign, and you'll upload your file for each form to each campaign. So for example, you could have a garage sale in October, you could have a just listed or just sold, or maybe you're trying to just generate business with a farm in an area to get your name and everything out there. Maybe you're doing a meet and greet, or maybe you're going to be doing, CMA for people in the area. When those leads come back, I want to let you know that you do have to respond very quickly, usually within 24 hours, because there's times when I've seen them say, hey, I want to know what the value of my home is, my neighbor's home. You just told me you sold the neighbor's home or brought whatever it may have been, brought in the buyer or whatnot. And they want information. That happens pretty frequently. I will tell you, that's the neat thing about this. It's exciting to see. It's like you're dialing for dollars and dialing for business that they're doing. So you don't have to do your own voice drop, by the way. If you're not comfortable with that, he's going to walk you through the different scripts. He can do it as well, but you do have the option of using your voice and saying the message that you want to say along within the scripted guidelines, because those messages are fairly short messages so that they capture the person's interest. And so this is what's kind of neat. There's a lot of teams out there in this business, both in the mortgage business and the real estate business, that have employees that they pay for to do this very thing. And all we ask, and Krista knows about this because she's known us for several years, but all we ask is when you do generate a lead, and if there's a loan involved, in other words, I would be handling the mortgage for that client. So in other words, you can ask me questions too, because I'm well-versed in answering any questions for your clients and well-versed with helping you with structuring, if that's helpful too. So say, for example, you talk to someone, they want to meet with you, they may want to list their home, or maybe they've got a family member that's looking to purchase and they want to know information. It's not always a listing. Sometimes it's buyers. We've seen too, where, maybe they're buying an investment property in another area, or maybe someone in the family's purchasing. Because one of the parts of that dialogue that takes place is, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell a property in that conversation? But it's not a sales type of a conversation where it's like a salesy call. It's more of a consultative professional approach. So this is a little bit deeper approach. That's how we do things, because we find that if we connect and can develop for you a deeper type of call and a deeper initial communication, those tend to result in a higher result factor. And so those are things that we look at so that it doesn't come across, salesy, like an auto salesman or something along those lines. But so the nice thing for you to know is you're very professionally represented, which I think is really important. Not to take away from what auto dealerships do. I want to back up on what I just said, but that our approach is very different, as Krista would know. It's a very intentional approach. The scripts, we go over those with you and give you a copy of the scripts, so that if you change, like if you flip your script, for example, to another type of campaign, which is kind of cool. Can some of you maybe give me an idea of, have you done campaigns before? Call campaigns?
I have not.
Jennifer,
I
open
have
it
done
up.
it so many cold calling.
Yeah, the cold calling. Have you followed a script for the cold calling?
Yes, we used to
Okay.
have a written one. So, but we go with the flow. Well, we just see that what the customer is saying. So that's how we go.
Okay, one of the things I would always mention too, so I'm pretty transparent with these calls because interfacing with several different ethnicities, sometimes when we have a bit of an accent, what comes up is you want to speak very clearly and pause when you do the call campaign, when he tapes you. And so you have the opportunity, because you want to make sure that it's being well received on your behalf. This isn't a critique, it's something that I've had to address hundreds of times. And I would just say that when you're making those calls, when Kevin tapes you, that when you look at the script, you're going to pause in the pauses and maybe try to speak as clearly, and you'll practice it before. Practice makes perfect, rather than just going off the cuff on those. And that's where you'll see a better result. And here's the other thing too, you can do it both ways. So for example, you can do the tape of you and have it going, and you can do another campaign of him doing it, whatever you want to do. But that's why I talk about that, because what's your second language? Do you speak another language?
Yeah, I speak 3 languages.
That's good to know. Like my nephew speaks, I think 4 or 5. He's
I
from,
can speak 4 actually. I can speak Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi, English. So
okay, that's good to know, because those can be a real huge benefit for you, especially with the different populations and markets throughout the region. What area do you live in?
Roswell. Roswell?
Okay. Did you say Roseville?
Yes, Roswell.
I thought so. It came across, I sometimes on these, it's not, okay, Roseville, great, because there's different pockets throughout the area. So that's good to know. And you can capture, do you have any information in another language, or is it all in English that you send out to your clients?
No, I just communicate like while written in English. If I text message, it's only in English. So
Okay,
when
okay.
I speak, I know the person, where they are. If they are from India, Pakistan, or a different country, then I know which language they speak, and that's how I communicate with them if they are comfortable speaking in their own language.
Do you tap into niche markets? like niche
Oh,
markets?
I
Okay. I
am
didn't know
new
you
in
did.
this business, so I don't know much. But when I was with EXP, they were just asking us to make 100 cold calls every day. So that's what we were doing.
So
100.
making calls is a really great direction. However, more strategic and more focused calls to areas that are going to generate you a return. Like there's an agent, he's a foreign ethnicity in Folsom. It's pretty amazing. I've known a few of them actually recently, and I've met with them. And in this case, you know, he had a state position with the state, as well as built his real estate. So he sold over 77 homes in the last couple of years, you guys. And so there's a few of them that quite a few, and there's some really interesting strategies. That's an off topic where I can talk to you separately to not take up too much time. That's why I asked, but I do believe that you have an opportunity to get into some of these unique markets that will differentiate from some of the others because you do speak multiple languages and sometimes they're comfortable, you know, and that's a cool thing and that can be neat. I had just a quick example, someone who lived with us from Africa when my son was playing basketball. And I think he went to the mosque right outside of ARC. And I said, 2 months into this, I didn't even know this stuff. I go, wait a minute, you're Muslim? Why didn't I know that up front? I got a Bayside, but I said, dude, let's go up there. You know, so what I'm trying to say is sometimes you can tap into different networking groups. There's a bunch of them around because I get invited to them. I got invited to an Asian one. I got invited, you would laugh, I got invited to some of the others. And of course, I might stand out. But what was kind of cool is that I was observing to see who was there, how they ran their groups, and how they drew in people and how they did business together. And sometimes they do things a little different, you know, so that's good. But I would say take the list that you have, what you've been given from title, narrow it down to 200 to 400 names. And then what kind of campaign were you thinking of? Were you thinking like it just listed, just sold,
Anything.
anything? Are you brand new?
I'm new.
Okay. So you're brand new. Okay, this is the cool thing if you're brand new. Are you going to be sponsoring anything? Do you have a team yet, like a people that you work
No,
with?
no, I work with Krista. She's my boss.
Krista, perfect. She's awesome. Krista's an excellent trainer, you guys, and an excellent resource. I will share this with you. She has tremendous experience in all of these items that I'm talking about. So you live in Roseville. Did you you pulled a farm? So you're going to target market the farm?
I haven't done it since I am with the Fathom. I haven't done anything like no farming, nothing yet. So I want
Have
to
you,
learn about
Okay,
about
so Nahida actually is the open house queen. She's holding open house at least
yeah.
one every weekend. So
that's
I've
fantastic.
sometimes 4, sometimes 2.
yeah,
So I already scheduled this weekend 1. So yeah.
yeah.
If you're doing that, that's great. One of the guys that I work with, he's on the board for SAR, the Sacramento Association of Realtors, and I met with him, and he did 30 in 30 days. He's doing 2 to 3 deals a month right now. He's doing very, very well. I met with them, met with Sotheby's, but because we meet with a lot of different people, and I think you're on the right track. When you go and do those open houses, or did you doing like 2 on a Saturday? Are you breaking it up?
Yeah, I do sometimes 4 on 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. Sometimes I just do 2. I do it as many as I get it, but I start taxing agents since Monday, and then I'll do as many as I can.
Good for you. And then are you following up with the people the next after you
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
them? Are you already taking them out for buyers then? You're taking them out to show them property?
Yeah, on my open house so far, I found so many of them, but they just sometimes not ready, and then they stop answering. 2 are ready right now, but I'm working with them. I don't know when they're gonna buy it, but they are going to buy it. So they're buyers. So
So are you isolating your open houses to a certain area in Roseville where you could pull
I
that
go
farm?
everywhere. I go to Yuba City, Live Oak. I go to Roseville, Rockland. I have done in Lincoln, Sacramento, uh,
Okay.
everywhere. I can.
Okay. So for you, the good thing is that you can pull a farm around wherever it is you want to determine your farm to be, because we know there'll be closed sales in there if you've done an open house. And so that's a good thing because you can reach out to them and say, hey, I just worked on that. You know, in other words, we just held an open house in your area. And if you're gonna hold another one like 3 days before, is your name Mac? What is your name?
No, I'm Nahida.
I
I'm
have
gonna change my name here. This is Mac, like my MacBook. Sure.
MacBook. I thought it said Mac. I wrote it down. So with pulling the title list for the area,
Uh-huh.
then you get that, since you're doing 4 of them, you know, we might not be able to do all the campaigns that week, but for example, think
This
of
week I
one.
got one only in Elk Grove.
Oh, Elk Grove's a good place. I had like 40 people show up to one. I couldn't believe it one time last year, but this is a newer
Yeah.
build.
Last weekend was so crazy. I locked the door, like lockbox, and I have to open it 3 times. As I was leaving, somebody keep coming. People keep coming. It
Wow,
was
that's
very busy.
great.
Like I see like more than 40, 50 families come up. Like it was so busy and crowded. But everybody look at the property, love it, like it, but nobody was going to make an offer. They're just saying, oh, we're just looking, we like it. We don't know for sure. We're waiting for the interest rate go down, maybe next month. These are the things that they were saying.
Okay, so
One guy said that he'll wait until September and then he will buy a house. Not that one probably will be gone, but a different one through me. So that makes me happy. Like if I get one client at one open house, so we'll be happy.
mhm.
Yeah.
The biggest piece here is follow-up. Do you put them into your database?
I don't have any database. I just write down on a piece of sheet.
Oh, you have to create like a database for follow-up. Do you guys have access to one, Krista, through Fathom?
No, I don't know how that worked. In my previous company, they used to have follow boss, and we were putting the data in the follow boss.
I
But on
see.
Fathom, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I am
Okay, so
new. I am
that's going to
learning
be
every day.
something I think Krista will go over with you, how to set it up, the follow-up database, because you want to keep track of all of them so that you can reach out to them and bring value to them, send them information maybe once a week. You know, reach out, you know that the one's going to purchase in September. We can talk a little bit more about rates and how to address that question later when they say they want to wait until September. Well, they may be waiting with everybody else, but we'll talk about that because we're focused on, I know, circle dialing today. So with the circle dialing, if you have a list that you're pulling from your title agent from the farm and you buy the phone numbers and emails, then you can send that list over on the form. Did you get the recording from Krista?
I sent it out Monday.
Okay, I want to show you guys something. Let me just pull up something real quick here if it'll pull. So let me go back into here.
Cindy, real quick, your email, it's Haven at Golden Bay Mortgage Group. Is that right?
Yes, even at more Golden Bay Mortgage Group. Do you mind if I share to pull this up to show them the circle dialing
Yep.
page?
Yeah, we can do it live. I've got my stuff here. I think we were
Oh,
gonna.
you do? Can you pull yours up then? Okay, and I'll take mine down.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Um,
Oh, thank you. I just saw your text.
you're welcome. I need to get out of here for a second so I can see my screen. Whoops, I can't minimize the workplace when I'm recording. Oh, okay. Well, I'll do it the hard way.
Nahida, she's killing it out there. You're doing 4 a weekend?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Right, let me open.
Guaranteed. You keep doing that. So just this last weekend, I had a couple agents go out and they called me when I was at PCAR because I was there this last week, Krista. They did open houses and people walked in unrepresented. They had them fill out the buyer's agreement, the new agreement, and they're showing property. So that's encouraging. I want her and your others to know.
Okay, so let me get on. I've got the screen open. I think, Cindy, we wanted to do the link, right? Starting from the beginning, is that right?
So if we pull the page that I send over to them,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you want me to go to that?
yeah, can you pull yours up?
Yeah, let me get to my email.
Okay, or I have it up, but
Give me a second.
or I could show mine either way.
We were just doing this. What day was that? Oh. Do you want to email me the link, Cindy? Oh, I'm in my drafts. No wonder I can't find it. Sorry.
It'll say circle dial email template.
Yeah, I was just in the wrong folder, which is very embarrassing. Okay. Circle line form submit. Okay. So I'm going to open this up.
Okay.
Here to submit circle dial request, right? So that's what you want to see.
Uh-huh.
Got it. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so this is what it looks like.
Here we go.
Top
So
right.
there's two things. One, you're all going to get an email that'll say, thank you for setting up the circle dialing, and we break it down that comes with this. And this gives the instructions. It's really simple because you're going to go down. We say for every 750, these are like rough estimates. We call prospects, for example, expectations for every 750 prospects. We are averaging 1 to 2 plan Bs or Cs. If we get lucky, we get an appointment. Circle dialing, what we do is we do this multiple times. So circle dialing cold calls generally has a low concentrate and a low conversion rate. However, we've seen success in a short time because we have a very seasoned person doing this, that's been doing this for the last couple of years. What you will do is you click, there's a place here where you'll click on next here. That'll take you to the form and you'll put in your information. So the first thing is your name. Then you'll drop down and put Cindy Haven. Cindy Haven, I'm your loan officer. And then the company is Fathom. And then your phone number, because Kevin's going to receive all of this information in your email. And then I email him to let him know that you submitted your form. Like today, Krista, he said he didn't see it from last week. So we're having her resubmit it to make sure it went through for a call campaign next week. So I'm emailing him because he's going to reach out to Krista and set up her voice drop recording.
Right.
And it's super simple. And then she is going to upload her CVS file or Excel file right here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go over here. I had this up because that's what I thought I was gonna need first. Here's the CVS
Okay.
for Sierra View. That's the neighborhood.
This is the one for the
Yeah, garage sale.
garage sale.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So she can set up a garage sale campaign for October, for example, and then she can set up like you sold that home over in Rockland, your brother's listing, for example. You could actually, do you have the list from title for that area?
Probably, yeah.
Probably back in your data. I was just giving an example to them that you could pull that list and run a campaign sold. You know, you brought in the seller or you listed it. You could say just listed or just sold.
Yeah.
You know, you brought in.
So it looks like there are radio buttons, right? So if I go back and I edit my response, I don't know if that's going to goof up Kevin, but if I go through here and look again, okay, so it saved it. Here's what you can do. Just listed, just sold, open houses, old lead follow-up, and then farming. So the other ones, Cindy, you were talking about. Like,
well, if you have like a clubhouse, like one of my agents is having an event at her clubhouse. So she's setting up something different where she's inviting them to the event to give them, you know, updates on the market and what's sold in their townhome subdivision, that kind of thing. Or she's doing a fall campaign. I know one of them is doing like a fall campaign.
yeah.
Where they're like, do any of you live in an area where you have like a clubhouse or subdivision? Like you have an HOA? No? Okay.
There are a lot around here that do. There's some in Lincoln, Rockland, Roseville. There's several.
That's what I'm thinking too, that they could host one with someone and co-host with someone.
Yeah.
One of the neat things too, you guys, so that to keep the budget down. So we'll talk about, these are really inexpensive. This is an inexpensive way to generate lead and get your name out there, lead flow. And then I'm able to help you as the lender because I'm a lender partner with you. So I can talk to your buyers and help you to solidify and say, you know, this is a great agent. They know the area well, they'll, you know, that type of thing. The first step is to get you pre-qualified, you know, or pre-approved to purchase. And we can do that, you know, and I'll have that conversation with you and support you. And then, but let's go back also to like,
I have a question on
yeah.
this section. If we clicked a radio button, like Nahida is holding all these open houses, and she's had a bunch of open houses where she's had interest, but where she's been, if we use the open house circle dial, could she use that campaign and say, hey, you know, we had an open house recently in the neighborhood, the house has gone pending, would you like to know how much your house is worth, la la la, right? Would that be like a good call to action, or do you have scripts that we can use?
That would be a good call to action too, because she could say under the open house circle dialing that I held this house open, it's pending, you know, that type of thing. Or if it's pending, it's probably going to be a just sold, really. That would be more so the just sold one, you know, because just sold's going to have a better response and say just sold. We have a home pending. It doesn't matter that she didn't bring the buyer to pending. You could just say that it's pending, right? When you're new in the business.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even if she said, hey, I recently held a house open in your neighborhood, you know, would you like to get a home valuation report or something? Is there
Absolutely. Home valuation report. And you'll leave a message to that, either you or Kevin. Do you want to get a home valuation report? Or would you like to know, you know, that home sold within 2 weeks? You know, that's another thing too. We've had some of them say, hey, we sold that home within 3 days, kind of thing. You know, would you like the same thing? And we could share that information with you. Sometimes we customize it around whatever the situation is.
Okay, that was my question. If they click a button and they send in the form, does Kevin give them a script to do the phone drop, or do they kind of
So
know?
Kevin's going to email you, and the two of you are going to set up a time because he's not in the United States.
Right.
So he's in the Philippines. And so he's going to coordinate a time via email with you to do the call, and he'll call you at just that time. You two coordinate it, and you tell him what you want. You have to tell him. So that's the one thing, you have to know what you want. And you can either do the voice drop and then he drops it and gives you the results, or you tell him, if you're not going to do it, what you want him to say, because he's scripted and he can integrate that part into his script.
Okay.
So it can go either way. And then the other thing too, so we'll talk about, because we're going into fourth quarter, because there's a lot of holidays. There's, you know, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays, Christmas, other holidays as well, if I've missed any. And so that's another thing with circle dialing, because you might change your script. You might say, happy holidays, we're super excited. You could even share a scenario. We just recently closed, or this home recently closed if you didn't do it. This property recently closed. Now they're going to be in their new home January, right? You could say some things like that, or, you know, some different creative ways to get people to call and to want to reach out to you. Do you know what I'm saying, Krista?
Yeah, I always feel like if you're going to put a message out there, you need to have a call to action at the end of the message. That's why I was
Exactly.
Okay,
It's a call to action. It's not going to be robotic. It's going to be more natural. Like, hey, I held 3 open houses in your area. 2 of those 3 are pending. Super excited. Would like to talk with you and see if we can help you develop a strategy, right? Or something like that. You know, meet with you to give you a seat.
I met some other buyers at the open house who were not the winners of that contract. So we have other buyers looking, right? There's a lot of ways that you could get people to be interested in talking to you, especially at an open house, because 99% of the time, the house that you're holding open is not the house they want, but they've already raised their hand and said, I want to buy a house. So you need to have follow-up conversations with these people. Yeah.
When you're doing the open houses, do you go out to the neighborhood before though? Because some of the agents I know do, and they pass out flyers to them. So I don't know if you're marketing before the open house. The other thing too, especially if it's one that just went on the market that week, but the other thing too is that you can, in neighborhoods like Krista just said, because I've walked those neighborhoods with people, have a flyer and say, I have clients that want to move into this area. Do you know if anyone that's going to be selling? And that's usually how you'll find out. Someone will say, oh yeah, I heard my neighbor was getting things ready to sell and put on the market. You know, they might say, I don't know if they've met with anyone, but you might want to go talk to them. That kind of thing. You know, they might be doing some renovations or new carpet or flooring to get the house ready to go on the market, or painting. That's another thing with title. So with your title company, you guys, if you have areas that are apartments, like in Folsom, we get a lot of business out of Folsom because those apartment units lease up to $4,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for some of the corporate housing off the 50 freeway I've been to. It's kind of insane, but they're generating some good revenue. They just put in a whole new complex off of East Bidwell there for a little bit more moderate pricing, but I think the moderate might be $800 less. It's still pretty decent, cost. So you can pull those lists from title with phone numbers for those apartments, because a lot of those folks may be here, transferred, relocation, they're in a temporary 6-month deal kind of thing, and they're looking to purchase, right? And you can get them ready to purchase, like I can do the pre-approval, and you could have a whole nother bucket of people ready to purchase for end of year kind of thing. So I see that often. Also, with that, they have this technology. It's called AI technology. They can tell when people are going to buy or sell. So they pull another list like Krista we've talked about. They get the information that tells them when they've gone to Home Depot, when they're renting things, when they're getting equipment, if a pod was brought into the house. They have all kinds of unique ways to pull data. I know through Fidelity National Title, he's got all of those systems, and so does Chicago, that I'm aware of, because I've seen the list. They've sent them to me when they send them to the agent. I'm like, wow, this could be a little creepy. Like, when I'm going over to Home Depot and I'm renovating my bathroom or something like that, I go, that's kind of bizarre, but it's cool because then it gives you kind of some data to talk about. Like you could call and say, hey, hi, I'm the local area specialist, or we just sold a home here. I know some people in the neighborhood, you can play off of it, or getting their homes updated, doing some renovation plans. How about you guys? Are you planning anything in the future? And kind of nonchalantly talk to them. So I hope that helps. But to go back to circle dialing, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, my question is, are you gonna send us an email to fill out that form?
Yes. So I have to have your emails and contact information from when Krista, when you sent it out, did you send it from you or from me?
Can I put it in a chart?
Yes. And that way I could get your information. I can forward you the form and then we'll chat. Krista? Hi, did you?
I can forward the form. I can send that email over to everyone if you.
Yeah, and then I'll get her email in the chart so she can get set up sooner, because I know she's got multiple open houses.
Yeah, and then we've got to get her leads in the database because.
That's why oh yeah, you do have to get the leads in the database.
Right? Like, I don't know if she's holding it open until I see it on Facebook, and I'm like, good for you. Like that's.
Yeah. Do you, does she have a list yet from title?
Whoops. Does she have a list from title? No, we haven't done that.
Okay. So that's okay. You're getting ready. That's okay. You're getting ready for like next week. Then you'll probably get all this together. So title will give you the list the same day, because I'll just have you put your credit card there and pay for the list. Unless someone else has a list that they're giving you. I don't know, but because I don't know what you have set up with Krista, but so you'll get the list. These lists that you have right now, do you know how to do a spreadsheet, like an Excel file? Because you could put the leads from your open houses on just an Excel list, because we accept an Excel list. But you do need to have enough of them. That's why you'll need those included on your list with, at least 200 names, you know what I mean? And numbers to start at a lower volume.
So which title
Some of the people here, like Joe Bradley, he's been around a while. He may have several hundred people, that will be broken up into different lists. And then you'll name your list like open house list, or you'll name it, whatever it may be, your farm, Roseville farm, that type of thing. I want to see if anybody else has questions.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Joe, does this seem like something, pardon?
Oh, sorry. I was wondering if you could hear me. Is it too
I can
faint?
hear you. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what title company do you call to get this list? I mean, there's a lot of them out there, right? I'm in the El Dorado Hills area, so I'm wondering
Oh, I'm up by you, Marlon. Okay, so right by you is Fidelity National Title. Their office is right there in
Okay.
Town Center.
Oh, okay.
And you know, I could have Pete Dawson if you want. So I'm not trying to steer you. So I want to be clear on this.
Mhm.
Steer you. I'm just thinking convenience wise for you.
Yeah,
But you could go to any title, Fidelity National title,
that's
Chicago
fine.
title, Placer
Uh,
title. I'm giving you
yeah.
examples.
Yeah, I'm in Town
But
Center all the time, so that works for me.
yeah,
Good
yeah. And
restaurants.
so if you give me your information,
Yeah,
I can shoot you over. I have it on my cell phone, Pete.
okay. I'll send you a chat here, I think.
Yeah, and then that way I can send you his information and you can reach out and he'll send you the list. You get it within a couple hours,
Okay.
which is good. And so are you newer or have you been in the business a little while?
I have been in the round for a couple years. I work full time. And I'm at Intel, so you guys have probably heard of all the layoffs that's happening. So I've been burdened like 80-hour weeks for the last 2 years. So I'm slowly trying to come back, and every time I'm about to come back, more people get laid off. So I've
I
been
know. Are
it's
you
just I'm fine, but the problem is the work doesn't change, right? We lose people. And I thought earlier in the year I'd be able to come back in, and then they announced another set of layoffs this summer, another 15,000 or so. But I've done only, I think I've talked to Krista about this. I've just mainly helped with Spanish speaking clients in the past.
that's good to know.
Yeah, so that's usually where my clientele is, and it's just referral based.
Are
But now
you're with Intel
I am, yeah.
out of Folsom?
Folsom, yeah, I'm here right now, actually, in the building.
That's perfect because you know what? We have our home program and we can talk about this offline because
Mhm.
Krista knows about the home corporate program and Intel's on the list.
Yeah.
For the
You wanna get into
employees, which would be kind of cool because you might be able to handle some of this for them. The employees get a benefit.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Marlon, I can connect you on that. We're gonna run that through my group here, so
Okay,
I can get you connected. Cool.
sounds good.
Yeah, Marlon. So I'll send over the information for Pete Dawson. He
Okay.
lives in Folsom, but he's been with, oh gosh, for like 30 years with Fidelity. So he might be good, or I know he could get the list to you immediately, or any other title company for the most part. Most of them that are larger that have the systems to support you guys, like the Placer, Chicago, Stewart Title, some of the others out there. You know, I'm trying to be fair and reasonable here, giving you a handful of,
Sure, no, that's fine.
yeah. And then proximity. Joseph, where do you live?
I'm down here in Silicon Valley. I'm down the road.
Okay, yeah. We do a lot of business because Golden Bay Mortgage originated in the Bay
Yeah.
Area.
I
Okay,
remember way back when they first started,
oh yeah,
or at least in this area.
so do you work with a lot of tech people from the technology?
I work with all kinds of people.
Okay.
A lot of them are in tech, some of them, a lot of them are not. I got a few therapists, I had a couple doctors, and a bunch of tech people.
That's good to know because a lot
Tech
of
people are the
times-
harder to work with because they think they know everything and they want even heavier discounts.
I hear you. But
Mhm.
doctors like healthcare was my
A
background.
therapist, chiropractor, things like that.
Okay, yeah, healthcare is nice because a lot of them are sometimes they're W-2 employees and they have
Yeah.
decent income. And those are good. I've done a lot of those with Kaiser and UC Davis and some of the other companies, Dignity.
But even
Yeah.
rabbis and a few other people too.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say with the rep, yeah, a lot of faith-based organizations too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because everyone needs to buy, you know, and so are you in a group up there?
What do you mean in group?
Like networking groups?
I don't do networking groups anymore. They're too filled with realtors and
Okay.
and it's more. I'm more of business building than I am exchanging leads that they gave to 15 other groups to 15 other agents.
I got it. Okay.
So I think there's a different way of doing it.
Yeah,
But
no.
all the groups here are saturated with realtors and lenders, and
Sure.
it's just I used to run them and create them, but they've
Uh-huh.
changed. I used to go to network meetings. That whole time is time of the past. I used to get a ton of business from there.
Yeah. It's just there's some different ones now I know that are I think they're a little more intimate. Like I've been sharing with Krista, I've got one that I was invited to, and it was kind of nice. There's only 30 people, but it was a different type of group. You don't really pay for it, which is good.
Yeah.
And they meet once a week. I'm sorry, once a month, but I understand what you're saying. you know, because I'm from Southern California, so I get it. When things can be saturated, you have to create something different
Yeah.
and build it a little differently. Would the circle dialing be beneficial for you and some of your,
Oh, yeah, that's
Okay, good.
definitely. It's
good,
easy
I'd love to
do it.
help all of you, you
Yeah.
know, be able to build and grow. We're shifting, guys. It's going to be a much different market now with the rates dropping. You know, the Feds meet on September 18th. Some really great things are happening now going forward. There's a lot of programs that we have as a brokerage. We've got a variety of programs, those that are in a good place to purchase or buy up, and then those that need down payment assistance. I've done those as well. A lot of different scenarios. Divorce cases, I've handled a handful of those this year. So a lot of those, even in up the Bay Area, I handled a few in Pittsburgh and what was it, Vallejo. So if that helps you guys, just to know if you need a resource, I'm happy to help. Sometimes it's challenging if people are going through life changes. You know, the realtor will call me and say, hey, you know what, I don't specialize in this. Can you talk with them? See if we can move them to the next level, you know, and help out. I'm available to help in those cases too.
Yeah. And
Krista, any questions? I know you guys got to go.
I know.
We got to get going back to work.
Yeah. She's very hands-on. And you know, I had her come and sit at open house with me, I think twice maybe.
Yeah.
House in Rockland that I had. And, you know, she'll get right in there. I always greet the people, you know, hey, welcome home. And they laugh and they think that's funny. And Cindy's like, so have you talked to a lender? And
We talked to a buyer.
talking to them about all the different lending programs and options that they have. And she'll say, just like she does, like, I'm just giving you real world examples, just so you know, right? And it's very conversational and consultative in nature. So she's not going to come at your clients like, you know, I think you should take this program or whatever. She's very, very helpful. So take the time to chat with Cindy. This is a really great service. Like I said, it's so low cost. You need to pay for the list because you need to pay for phone number, emails. Those usually don't show up on a regular list from a title company. They'll give you addresses, but if you want their contact information, it's like 5 cents a lead or 5 cents a name or something. So very cheap. And then this service is free. And then we're just going to reciprocate by giving her business back. So I appreciate you, Cindy, for doing that.
Yeah, I'm just now putting my 961.
You're 916. You have another phone number?
171. So, and I'll put my email in there. See.
Oh, it is the same number. Okay, because I put it in the chat.
You did? Okay, I didn't realize. Okay. See.
I hope, yeah, it was to everyone. So they have your email and your phone number, and when I send out the recording, it'll be in there too.
Sure. Okay, great, you guys. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, and let's get started on some of this to help you guys build for fourth quarter. We're excited.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I've got I've already had someone call. When's the garage sale? So I've trained my farm.
Perfect. Did you submit your form? You submitted it just now? Okay, good.
Yeah, so we have a call to do a voice drop recording this afternoon.
Okay, good. Again, thank you so much.
I did have a question regarding the circle prospecting. How you deal with multiple languages or non-English speaking?
So one of the benefits is that we do have Spanish speaking, and we do have, I know Kevin speaks a couple other languages. It depends. We don't cover all the languages, but it depends on what that language is.
Spanish is not very popular anymore around here like it used to be. But we have a lot of different cultures in here. Spanish is very small now. It used to be huge when I was a kid, but now it's like.
No, we have bilingual, and I mean, there's some that speak Chinese, there's some that speak Farsi, there's some that speak other languages in the Middle Eastern part of the world. So we've had some of that come up and communicated with them.
So how's that handled?
Well, you mean as far as, so when they're doing the circle dialing, they're doing a voice, you're doing the voice drop, or Kevin's doing the voice drop. So when you respond back to him, it's you responding back to him, not us. You're the one doing the follow-up, you're the agent. So you're calling back the lead, that's a lead that's being generated on your behalf. So you're doing the callback.
Oh, okay. No, I just kind of curious if they had
So if you can communicate with them, yeah. You know, did you know you can type in Chat GPT? So I wanted to make sure, do you guys know about the multiple language features in AI online through Chat GPT? Because I know some people use that when they're communicating in all these different languages. That's a really good point. I mean, it sounds funny. But
no, I always get made fun of because of the translation.
I know it's kind of hilarious, but I'm just saying, I was pretty amazed when it was first introduced to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, We could be
But
in,
no, it translates very interesting because
Yeah.
when they tell me, it goes, what you said, is that what's meant? So
that's where you have to be careful that, because we each speak in our own language and have a bit of slang, right? Like you
Right.
said, and it may not be the message we want to convey.
Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Yeah. They're gonna need to have somebody help interpret, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all there is you can do.
And
Okay,
then you
well,
can
I
reach out.
appreciate this.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, guys. We'll talk soon in another meeting, and then you'll reach out to me. Bye, everyone.
Bye.